Oh, is this Tim Coles and the Vibe Matters?
This
The one
is.
and only.
Is that Sean?
Oh? No, it's Austin.
Hi, Austin. How are you? This is
What's
Vibe.
going on, Austin?
Hey, what's going on, man? Well, I hear you guys talking about the science of chemtrails. I just want to address this. Let's take a look at these Morgellons. Can you explain these Morgellons, these fungus, these fibrous growths that people actually really have?
The CDC just did a study on that. Somebody want to take this one?
Well, all I'll say is this, and that's kind of a separate subject, but it's not. But that alone is actually what keeps me going and motivated to get people more facts to consider in their head. Just seeing the video of a poor lady, or anyone, but in particular one that I saw, picking herself literally to pieces with tools from around her house, just sickened me. I mean, it's just so deep, it's not even funny. I couldn't hardly stand to watch it, and it kills me that I understand that she has a problem. There's no question that they have some sort of issue, but to blame it using a complete logical fallacy that it is the chemtrails in the sky, or any trail in the sky, or the bird in the sky, or the tree out front that's causing it, is just the complete logical fallacy, and that it's causing more harm to these people to believe that than it is if they just went to a doctor or a physician and tried to get some help. Believing that they can't leave their homes during the day and they're changing their lifestyles because of this false belief is not doing them good.
I know people suffering from Morgellons personally, and it's not a fallacy.
It is a logical fallacy to associate it with something that you cannot. There is no proof of association whatsoever. None.
Well, are you going to let me speak now? You asked me to call in. I'm giving my 2 cents, okay?
Please do so.
The reason that this strikes dear to me is I know someone personally that's actually had these fibers actually pulled out by their doctor. And you mean to tell me there's nothing to this? These are weird fibers. This is a real thing. This is not a fallacy. This is not people hallucinating.
You're misunderstanding when I say fallacy. I'm agreeing there's obviously a health issue here. I mean, there's no denying that. There is one. The fallacy is a logical fallacy. There is no evidence to tie what's wrong with them to lines in the sky, just as there's no evidence that it's a bird in the sky right now, or who knows? There's so many different things that could cause it. Where's the evidence, and how can you tie lines in the sky that have been around for decades that suddenly are causing this? Where's the evidence? I've never seen a single piece. That's the logical fallacy. It's called post ergo propter hoc. Just because A happens and then B happens does not mean that A caused B.
Tim, you probably read it. The CDC did a study on this a little while ago, and they basically concluded that the fibers come from scratching and from normal, they're just fibers.
Yeah,
they're just clothes. They're
please, come on.
If said person has Morgellons, why doesn't everybody else have Morgellons? Why don't pilots have Morgellons? Why don't flight attendants have Morgellons? Why don't people who fly often have Morgellons? Why don't I have Morgellons? Yeah. That's just a logical. That's just logic. Like you're associating spraying at what's average flight level? 34,000 feet. I mean, this stuff would just be everywhere for you to test and just pick up, and everybody would.
Explain to me with the strontium and barium, because it was all covered up here in the United States. We had to go to France to get these studies done, where they actually see much higher levels of strontium and barium in a lot of cities, including one where I live, Las Vegas. They love to spray here.
Okay, again, we have a fallacy. Where are you tying differences in those materials that are tested in soil, which we can get into that too. A lot of these tests are completely misleading and are within normal levels, but they're being presented as they're way out, something that they aren't. So, but where's the evidence that shows that these lines in the sky that you're labeling chemtrails is the cause of what you're pointing out as a symptom of it? What exactly? How are you tying that?
Here, hold on a sec. I gotta pull something up. You caught me here. I didn't even have a chance to even do any research or get my ducks in a row.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, really quick, if you don't mind, this is Vibe. I just want to let you know,
Sure.
I wanted Austin to jump in. Austin and I slam heads religiously. I've been trying to, especially now that I'm trying to speak instead of just typing, I feel that also changes the game a little bit. It's time to stop just flame warring and really try to talk, because I really do think that we're not all a bunch of stupid guys, and there's just one group of right people and one group of wrong.
No.
But I invited Austin because I knew for a fact he would bring a healthy argument. So just for the record, I was recruiting him for this, and I hope nobody minds. I really was just wanting to make sure that with him having his radio show that he works on and everything, and knowing everything that he's behind and works for, I thought it would be a really good person to have to bring kind of a counter argument to a lot of this. So I hope no one minds me doing that, because I wasn't originally behind the wheel on this. I kind of got sucked into it by being asked to join in. So
One more time. What we need to do, guys, is we need to really set a day, and I would be happy to call in, and I would probably have one of my good friends, Russ Tanner, call in, who does the Global Skywatch page.
Sure.
And I know a little bit. He is more in tune than I am with the chemtrails. Now, if we want to start talking about banksters and fractional banking and the Constitution, that's something that I'm very versed in. So I'm not coming in here saying that I'm a be-all, know-all of chemtrails. I'm just saying what I've observed and what people that I've seen around, people that I'm associated with, and what I see happening in Vegas is when they do these whiteouts, it's not contrails, guys. They spray these grid patterns, and this stuff is
Hello,
thick
Austin.
as pea soup.
Hello, Austin. May I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, Austin, have you gone to YouTube and looked at Las Vegas Skywatch?
Well, I really don't have to go look at Las Vegas Skywatch. I
think you
should.
should.
Hey, here's a question. Okay, because Vegas
here's
is.
what I want to.
Let me jump in a
Austin.
minute. Let me jump in a minute.
Okay.
Vegas is my second home. I spend a lot of time out there back and forth. Usually I didn't make it out this year, but I'm probably going to go yet. But Nellis Air Force Base is there. They fly a lot of planes out there. Now, is it correct to say that planes don't fly directly over an airport in their flights?
No,
that's
they
not
normally,
true.
It's not totally true. No, they do veer off sometimes. They generally head toward airports for a number of different reasons, but.
Okay, well, I mean, like, say, would they route a plane over an airport at 39,000 feet?
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've seen, and I don't have any link or information, but I'd seen that somewhere that they don't, but I don't have anything to back that up.
That's no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, I'll tell you this, here in Las Vegas, they stack them and rack them. This is one of the busiest airports in the world.
Oh, yeah. I sit there and watch
Austin,
planes come in one after another. There's like a diamond necklace in the sky at night. The lights of the planes.
Austin, there's a good reason. There's a very good reason why I want you to go and look at Las Vegas Skywatch, because he lives in your town, and he learned to identify planes making chemtrails over Las Vegas. And he shows you a video of 42 planes which he was able to identify flying over Las Vegas. And guess what? 100% of them were regular commercial passenger planes.
So
taking
okay, so that
chemtrail.
I'd like to just kind of stop it for a second. This falls into two categories really quickly. You have two kinds of planes up there. You have commercial and you have military. The second topic I'd like to connect this to is radar. Why aren't all the radar professionals saying anything about this? You guys are saying that planes are just flying around to nowhere.
No, I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say that. They're dumping these. You didn't hear me say that.
Just redact. It's okay. Just redact it. It's fine.
Right. They're dumping these trails. They're dropping chemicals.
Let's let George have a moment. We've only got 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
I would like to know, though, seriously, just real quick, I would like to know, again, and I've been over this and over this and over this, and any of us that's researched this properly knows that there's nothing abnormal other than the quantity of them. They're the same as they've always been, and all science, video, photo, and written scientific papers all say that. So what's different? How do you say they're dumping, they're doing this? What evidence do you have prove that that's true?
Have you guys ever watched What Are They Spraying?
Yes.
So I hear you chuckling and laughing.
Well, I know that Jay's worked with me on this for sure, and I've talked to it with the other guys too. There's not
Tell me, Austin, what was the most important thing in that movie to you?
Yep.
Well,
good question.
What's important to me is I see more important.
No. The movie. The movie. You cited the movie. What was the most important thing in the movie?
Well, I think that they're just showing these sprays. I've seen crazy stuff here in Vegas. Wait, let me finish. I've got pictures of this horrid orange, red, rust-colored crap coming out of airplanes. I have pictures of that. I watched it.
Are you sure it's not just the
Vegas.
sunset glowing off of the cloud or something?
You know what? Let's move towards. I'd like to nail down the conditions for the contrails, the cirrus clouds, and explain a little difference. So I wish Connie was on. She studied meteorology. Who would be most qualified here to talk about the formation of the cirrus contrails?
Well, I'm fairly qualified. I have taken at least a college class in meteorology, and I got an A in it.
Awesome. Go. Tell us the science. What's the parameters for formation?
Well, beginning in 1919, when planes first started reaching higher altitudes, these were biplanes, and they reached the altitude where the temperature was around minus 40 degrees. That's the same temperature, 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 degrees centigrade. And at that temperature, ice crystals are able to form immediately from water vapor, which is formed by any kind of combustion. In combustion, you burn carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and you end up with CO2 and water. Those are the main contents of your exhaust. The water in the exhaust of a jet plane at minus 40 degrees below zero will first condense into tiny droplets of water and immediately freeze into ice crystals. If the humidity is enough in that part of the airspace, the contrail will persist and even grow.
Okay, what height?
Is low.
What height and what percent of humidity?
It can be at ground level if the temperature is minus 40. That seems to be about the magic temperature, plus or minus 2 degrees. And as far as what humidity, it really depends on a special type of humidity. It's called the relative humidity with respect to ice, because at that temperature, it's almost impossible to have water that remains. And so it's 100% or saturation of with respect to ice, not relative humidity. It's a little different. It's a more scientific term.
There's it requires to be able to attach to a particle. What type of particle is required to form?
Say again?
The condensation has to attach to a particle, and I've heard dust.
Just talking about CCN.
Yeah, dust or other particulates.
Yeah, nuclei, condensation nuclei.
Mm-hmm.
It probably helps. It probably helps to have condensation nuclei.
It can't happen without it, is my understanding.
Yeah, it doesn't really
need. There's enough,
and it produces its own.
Yeah, just to start the process.
It produces a lot of fine particles. I want to jump in here for a second because we're kind of getting towards the end. I don't think we really. I wanted to write something down, but I've been busy for 2 weeks. The main thing I think that needs to be addressed is why it's different. And like Vince, you guys haven't seen, all the people listening haven't seen what we've been posting in the event page unless you've been there. Tim's posted, 50 to 100 images of this happening in the past. It did happen in the past, but not as much. Because there were less jets, there was less airports, there was less, just basically less everything. But this is a combination. This is what I tried to figure out as a chemtrailer, like, why, if this is normal, what happened? And I think what everybody misses is they've been redesigning jet engines all the way along. They've been more efficient with different alloys and computer-aided designs. They're more tight. They're more technical. You have higher grade alloys. You have higher temperatures within the engine. They redesign turbojets into turbofans. You're talking about a different type of engine completely.
Bypass.
Turbofans channel 85% of the air they suck into the engine around the engine, so their exhaust is cooler. So they're putting out a much higher proportion of water, which comes out of the rear cooler. So you have a lot more of these jets. That was really the transition to me, is like everybody says, oh, the 90s. Well, it's been there all along, but that was, if you look at air traffic, it just increases exponentially. But I think there was some kind of threshold to where, okay, now there's basically, if you have an airport in your area, you basically have enough jets to just create your own little weather system. Like London, oh God, dude, London has so much traffic that, like, dude, so many chemtrail pictures are from London. It's like, well, dude, you have the most air traffic in the world.
Man, nobody's denying that it does affect